Hi, y'all. My name is Armin Salik, and we are super excited as the Youth Justice Alliance to share our first application ever for our first cohort ever. So we are looking to find about 10 fellows this year to serve as a model for our program going forward. And those 10 folks are going to be aspiring first-generation lawyers, or maybe folks who even have relatives who are in the legal profession who can demonstrate that their voice is uniquely needed. So just to share a little bit about what we offer in our fellowships, this is a 4 to 5 year program that is highlighted by our big summer events. For example, if you get accepted into the fellowship, this summer you would go to the YJA Summer Institute, where myself and a team of attorneys and volunteers and judges will help teach you the basics of the legal profession, working in the legal space, the rules of professional responsibility. We'll help you get set up with some free professional attire so you can feel confident in the workplace. And we're going to give you a $1,000 stipend to make up for your lost time. We know it is expensive to take on some of these great opportunities, so we want to take that financial burden off of your shoulders. So if you're accepted this summer, $1,000 training so that you're ready for our future programs where you're actually going to be going into the workplace. The next summer, so your second summer after high school, you will get $1,000 for a 100-hour internship with a local judge. And here in Austin, that is coordinated by our judicial liaison, Judge Karen Crump. She is amazing, and we'll make sure that all of y'all are set up in a local courtroom where you can learn the ins and outs of working in legal space. That next summer, so if you're going to a four-year university, this will be the summer after your sophomore year. You will get $1,000 for working in a nonprofit, a legal nonprofit. And I'll help out with that as the YJA executive director. And the reason we put it in this order is that the Summer Institute trains you to work in the legal setting. The judges help you get a sense of what it's like to work in the legal workplace. And then once you go to that legal internship, you have all those experiences and you come in and you become a valuable resource for that organization. You can help them increase their services to the community. Maybe you can help translate. Maybe you can serve as a legal assistant, whatever they need and whatever will help you develop as an aspiring attorney. Finally, that fourth summer after high school, so probably after your junior year of college, you will get $1,000 for an LSAT study stipend. So that's compensating you for the time you spend studying, and $1,000 toward the cost of your LSAT course. So if you take all of that together, $1,000 for the Summer Institute, $1,000 for the judicial internship, $1,000 for the nonprofit internship, and $2,000 for the LSAT and LSAT study stipend. That's a $5,000 fellowship. And keep in mind that throughout the course of the year, we will be there to support you. We're going to have some events during the school year, cohort meetings, mentor matching, networking, career and academic support, so that we can provide you the wraparound support, the institutional knowledge that you need to pursue your dreams. So, long story short, this application is for graduating high school seniors with a strong interest in pursuing a legal career who can demonstrate that their voice is needed in the legal community. Take this opportunity to share your story, your goals, and why you are right for this fellowship. If I have any tip for y'all, it is this: complete the essays in a separate Word document and then paste them here to avoid losing your work. We want to be mindful of your time. I don't want you to be on your third essay typing away and you get booted. Another big tip, guys, is that you are applying as somebody that dreams of becoming an attorney, but so are the other folks. So make sure that you share your unique voice. You should be able to tell from the documents, the essays that you submit, that this is your personal story and it can't be confused with anybody else. So real quickly, let's take a look at all the questions so that you can get a better sense of what is in front of you, and maybe I can answer some questions about what the application entails and what to avoid. So let's move on to the first question. Let's make sure you're eligible. All right, this first question is just a checklist, and you need to make sure that you can check all 4 boxes. First of all, will you graduate from a Texas high school in May or June of 2022? So if you are a senior and you're graduating this spring, you are eligible. 2, are you currently planning to pursue a career in the legal field? You can be an attorney, a legal assistant, a paralegal, but your dream should be to end up in the legal field where you can increase the diversity of the profession, share your voice for the profession. We are dedicated to working with aspiring attorneys, paralegals, and legal professionals. 3rd, are you available for the 3-week, exact dates to be determined, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Summer Institute in Austin in July of 2022? That summer institute is so critical because that's where we're training you to work in the legal space. Through that process, we can feel confident sending you out into the legal workplace, and those employers, those judges can feel confident bringing you in, okay? Fourth, will you be able to participate in internships in LSAT programming in Austin, Texas for the summers of 2023, 2024, and 2025? What you can expect is about 4 weeks per summer for those internships, 25 hours per week. And then that last year where you're doing the LSAT programming, 2025, realistically, that's going to be about a 2-month commitment at least where you're dedicating yourself to the LSAT course, taking practice exams, making sure that you have best stats available. So when you're applying, you can get larger fellowships, scholarships, whatever you need to succeed in law school. That's the checklist. If you can check all the boxes, then we can get into the next set of questions. What is your first name? What is your last name? What is the name of the high school you are graduating from? That question about the high school is more so we can make sure that we're serving a diverse array of communities. We want to make sure that we have different neighborhoods represented instead of just pulling from 1, 2, or maybe 3 high schools even. 5, at what email address would you like to be contacted? Keep in mind, if you're using your high school email address, you might lose that when you graduate. So try to find an email address, maybe a Gmail account, where you can make sure that you can get our communication once you graduate from high school. 6, where's the best phone number to reach you? 7 is the beginning of the questions that we need about your demographics. These questions in particular are aligned with the Law School Admissions Council questions. That way our data can match their data and we can make sure that we're serving the community effectively. How do you identify? And keep in mind that at the bottom of questions 7, 8, 9, and 10, I believe, there's an option for prefer not to disclose. So we ask you to share your identity or how you identify, but if you don't feel comfortable or if you identify with some other race, you have that option as well. Question 8, which of the following best represents how you currently describe yourself? Prefer not to disclose is an option. Which of the following best represents how you think of yourself? Once again, prefer not to disclose is an option. And 10, please select the highest level of college completed by any parent or guardian. Okay, so do your best to answer these questions. If you don't feel comfortable, that is understandable. Here, I don't know is also an option. 11 is where we get into some of the details that are important to us as the Youth Justice Alliance. And the question is this: do you have relatives, for example, parents, guardians, grandparents, siblings, cousins, etc., who are attorneys or are in law school? The reason we ask this question is because a lot of our work is providing mentors to folks who may not have a great deal of knowledge about what it takes to go to law school, succeed in law school, succeed in the legal profession. So our thought is that maybe we can find folks who don't have those connections to the legal profession. But notice that if you say yes, that doesn't eliminate you. This isn't a checklist of if you have a relative, you are disqualified. That's not the case. Take a look at the next box. It says, if you answered yes, please describe the relationships here. You can also use this space to explain if the relatives are unable or unwilling to provide you with guidance and mentorship. You might have a relative who is an attorney, but you don't have a relationship with them. You might have a family member who is in law school, but you are trying to fight for certain values that may not align with their values. For whatever reason, they may not be able to give you the support that you need to succeed on the path to law school. Let us know that information or about that relationship using that comment box. 12, tell us your story. What unique opportunities or challenges have you experienced throughout high school that have shaped who you are today? Big hints, guys. We intentionally took this question from the common essay question for public four-year colleges in the state of Texas. So the big hint is this: you may have already written this essay for your college applications. If you did, and you feel confident in it, and you love it, you can copy paste. Okay, we completely understand, and we want to be mindful of your time, and that is why we are using this question. So if you liked what you submitted, and maybe you feel even more confident because you got an admission, this is the time to paste that here. 13, why do you want to pursue a legal career? Is there an issue of significance to you or your community? How will a legal career help? Some of our potential fellows might have a background as immigrants or the children of immigrants or as undocumented immigrants. So they want to change the way we see immigration law here, or maybe they want to advocate for their community. We may have fellows who apply who have experienced homelessness or the foster care system and want to serve as advocates for other children who have similar experiences in the future. Whatever it is that really makes you want to become an attorney or legal professional, let us know that here. Keep in mind that not everybody will have that story of experiencing those, the homelessness, immigration, eviction, whatever it might be. There might be some other reason that you really want to become an attorney. Maybe it's to advocate for something that you haven't personally experienced, but you think is super important. And that is completely understandable and respectable. 14 is a little bit different. If 13 was, why do you want to be a part of the legal profession? 14 is, why does the legal profession need you? So the question is this: how will the addition of your voice to the legal community contribute to the sharing of legal power, knowledge, and or support? So you may be in a community that lacks access to legal knowledge or legal support for some reason. You may have language skills that will help service providers connect to the community. What is it about you that will support the provision of services to communities that need access to legal knowledge, legal support, legal careers? How will you be the change maker in your community? Think of it that way. 15, we are building a team of future legal leaders. What skills can you add to your cohort? Maybe you have language skills. Maybe you have digital skills, artistic talents. Are you a yogi? Keep in mind that everybody has talents. This isn't a matter of testing if you have talents or not. This is a matter of figuring out what talents you can offer to the team. And we're going to be wearing a lot of hats in the fellowship. There might be days where you go and help pro bono service providers provide direct services to the community through a legal clinic. There might be other days where we are creating brochures, portfolios, know your rights videos, and sharing that out with the community. We might be designing t-shirts. Everything that you can bring to the table is important. It's just a matter of knowing how to share that out. You have skills, just figure it out. You have talents, brag about yourself. This is the time to do it. We really want to hear what you can offer. 16 and 17 are two artifacts that you can share. So these are just files. An artifact is some file that can help support your candidacy for this fellowship. So this one is probably the most open-ended of all of our questions. You can submit a letter of recommendation. You can submit your academic transcripts if you're really proud of your GPA and your record. You can send in an employment record. If you have a job that you have been balancing with school and with life and you want to share that, by all means, show us that award where you showed up for work on time for 100 days in a row. That's incredibly commendable. Show us that you have that balance. You may be somebody who has dedicated time to the community through community service events, and maybe you can demonstrate that to us in whatever way. Keep in mind that you have two options, but our reviewers are also limited in their time. So if you wrote a 100-page novel, mystery novel that demonstrates that you are an excellent writer, that is incredibly respectable, and we love that. But our reviewers have a limited amount of time, so you might want to pick the 2 to 3 pages which really highlight your talent. Everything that you submit, just keep in mind, we have reviewers. We can't guarantee that they're going to look at everything if you send in a very large file or a series of files, okay? So you have two choices. So pick the two things that show you off best, all right? And once again, you all have talents. You can send in a collage. You can send in a painting. You can send in a graphic design that you produced. You have talents. It's just a matter of which ones you choose to show off. And finally, question 18 is this. Please share any accessibility needs or accommodations. If you are accepted, we want to know how to support your learning and development. This question is basically this. If you are accepted, how do the other mentors, how do the other guest lecturers, how the guest speakers, judges help serve you? How do they help teach you? We might have fellows who are dyslexic, and they might prefer to learn using a certain type of font, a certain size text. We need to know that. And because there's only going to be about 10 of you on each cohort, we can do a really good job of personalizing and serving you. So we want to make sure that this programming caters to your needs, because we're all unique in our talents and we're all unique in our needs, and we want to celebrate that. So that was a pretty long video, but just keep in mind the application is due on April 10th at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you have any questions, email me. I'm the executive director of the Youth Justice Alliance. I'm going to be helping out with the Summer Institute and working with all of the many volunteers that help make this happen, all of the great sponsors that help make this happen. And you can email me at armin@youthjusticealliance.org. Keep in mind that I'm not going to be a part of the selection process. I'm going to help facilitate it. So if you email me a question, that's going to be between you and me, and I can help you process that before you submit your application, and we hand it over to our team of reviewers, which will include some attorneys, judges, and maybe even some law students. So they're all going to have their unique insights, what they're looking for, and you just need to figure out how to show off, and you have so many things to offer. Let us know your unique story. Let us know your unique talents, and we hope that you'll enjoy this process. And hopefully some of what you write here, even if you don't get accepted into this fellowship, can help you with other scholarships, can help you with other applications, and maybe even down the line thinking about how you're going to write about yourself when you do apply to law school down the line. So let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.